All right, welcome to this tutorial. We're going to talk about creating quizzes or surveys, things that you can do to get some feedback from your students on what they've learned, and a quick way to assess what they know or don't know. To start a quiz, you start in the class, and then you click on the Quizzes tab that's on the left side. And now we're in the quiz tool. So we are not going to talk too much about managing question banks or things like that. Just be aware that question banks work similar to outcomes in that the higher the level that the question bank is created, every level below that will have access to those question banks. And there are some links to some additional documentation on quizzes and things like that on the assignment page. So feel free to explore those. And if you have any questions, of course, email me and I'll get you the information that you need. We're just going to talk about in this one, though, creating a quiz on the course level. And you could use this as perhaps a pre and post test to see how what a student knows before you introduce some concepts and see what they know after. And we're just going to click on that button at the top right that says Create New Quiz. And when we click on that, now we've got some information on the left that we need to take a look at. We can make this a graded quiz or a practice quiz, an ungraded survey or a graded survey. You decide what you want it to be, and that's fine. And then you can also add it right into an assignment group that you've already created on the Assignments tab. If you haven't, you can always add it later. You can move it around later. We're going to go ahead and give this quiz a name, and I'm going to name it with my last name. And we've got some other options down here. Underneath the name, you've got shuffle answers. And what that means is if you're doing a multiple choice question and you've got 4 options, those 4 options will be shuffled for each student. So the students won't see the same answer order. You can check or uncheck that. You can give it a time limit. You can let students see their responses. You can show which answers were correct. You can allow multiple attempts. Restricting this quiz means that they have to have a code to access, filter the IP addresses if you want them to take this maybe in a testing center or something like that, and require Respondus Lockdown browser. You may or may not have access to that tab depending on how Canvas is licensed for your instance. You can always do the due date. You can select a due date, a locked until, and a locked after to restrict the time frame that students would be able to use this. Okay, so there's one other option over here on this left side, the far right side. We've got link to content, and if I click on that, this should look familiar. This is just like any other rich text editor that we've had access to. So you could access to a content page or reference something else that's happened in the class right within the quiz instructions. Okay, I'm going to just click back on options. So quiz instructions, answer each question to the best of your ability. Okay, that's it. Now you might have, more instructions, but I'm just going to add a new question. And if I click on this drop down arrow, now these are all of the different types of questions that I can have in a quiz. Multiple choice, true, false, fill in the blank, fill in multiple blanks, multiple answers, multiple drop downs, matching, numerical answer, formula question, essay question, or just text with no question. If you are doing something like just true and false and just multiple choice, Canvas can score this for you, and it will score it and automatically publish the scores right into the gradebook. So that's kind of cool. Those are the only 2 things that it can score, though. Multiple choice, true, false. It can score multiple answers, and this is something where you might say, select all of the options below that are correct, and maybe there are 3 answers that are correct. The problem with Canvas scoring it is Canvas, it's all or nothing. So if they don't select all 3, they don't get the point. So just keep that in mind. But we can do a multiple choice question. We can identify how many points it's worth, and we just write in our text here. Now I know that for some of you philosophical people that might be a subjective question, but we're just going to go with it. Okay, so we're going to assume the correct answer is blue, and notice that next to these answers that I've typed in, there are different colored boxes. So the green identifies which is the correct answer. So for me to change that to being blue as the correct answer, I just hover over that and click the green arrow. So now it says blue. Okay, these little text boxes under each of the answers, I can now enter comments for the student to see if they choose this answer. So if they choose red, I could say not quite. Now it doesn't mean that I'm giving them another chance, but I could clarify the incorrect answer, or I could give some positive feedback if they select the right answer. So after I'm done with that, I simply update the question, and now you'll see the question here. Now notice that I can, if I edit this, I can give the question a name. So this might be where I identify which standard this question relates to, or some type of an identifier for me. Maybe it's related to chapter 1 or something like that. I can identify that. I just need to make sure that I update the question again. And then I can add another question, and maybe this is true, false. And true is the correct answer, and update question. Okay, so I've got a couple of questions. I'm going to go ahead and preview the quiz so you can see what it looks like. And this is what it will look like to the students. And the students would have to select, the correct answer and then submit the answers. And I'm going to go back up to the top now to keep editing this quiz. You're going to want to make sure that you preview your quizzes for sure. And now I have to publish the quiz. My students won't be able to access it until I publish it. And now the students can take the quiz. I can lock the quiz at that time. I can also add a rubric that's related to this quiz. Maybe there's an essay part that I want to add a rubric. And I can also moderate the quiz. If I moderate the quiz, I've got a list of my students, and I can see, let's see that if I check Bernita, then I give her maybe one more attempt or something like that. I can give them additional attempts. So that's kind of cool with the quizzes. I'm going to just go back one screen. This is also really cool too. This shows student quiz results. It tells me who has taken the quiz and who hasn't taken the quiz. And after a student has taken it, if I click on their name, then it will show me their answers. And I can see exactly where they, what they missed. So that's kind of cool. I think that's all you need to know about how to create a quiz. It's pretty straightforward. And then after you are done, you can see all of your quizzes right from the quiz tab, and you can go back and edit them, delete them. Just make sure you republish them if you do edit them. And if you have any questions, please let me know. We'll see you in class.